Hi guys, welcome to the 6th video of Chess Eddie. So in this 6th video, we'll be talking about the king. So both of the kings start here. So the white king starts on the coordinate E1, and the black king starts on the coordinate E8. So I'm just going to put a white king on the coordinate D5 for an example. And in this case, the king can move like this, this, and same thing for this diagonal line. Remember that it can only move a square like this. So yeah, that's how the king moves. So let me repeat that. It moves like this, this, and that. So a king, if there were to be a knight here, a king would capture like this. But if a knight would be here in the same place, a king cannot jump over the knight or any other piece. So for example, with the queen, it would be another example. Because if you want to take the queen, you would just take with this. But with the queen, here you may not still jump over the queen. So same thing matters for all of the other pieces. So that is basically how the king captures. So that is the basic rule of the king. Now comes the more complicated way of the more complicated thing of the king. So this complicated thing is check. So check is when any piece is attacking the king. So I'm just going to grab a knight here for an example. So if a knight were to be here, it's now attacking the king. Remember in my knight video, knights move like this and all in the L shapes. So now my knight is attacking the king. But kings, always remember this, it is a very important rule, may never be captured. It's not the right rule of chess. So the king has to move to a square, one of the 7 squares of these. These squares. However, it may not move to this square because it is guarded by the knight. So another example of this check that I'm teaching you is if a pawn were to be here. So the pawn is now guarded by this knight. So the king may not capture it, or else it would not be a legal move because the kings cannot be captured. So the king has to move on any of these other 7 squares. So yeah, that's basically check. Remember, it may not jump over the piece like that in this case, because it can only move 1 square in every direction, and it cannot jump over pieces. So remember that kings cannot be captured. That's a very important rule. And now I'm going to be doing another example of check, just so you know what it really is. So if a queen were here, and a rook go here. Now the rook is guarding the queen. So the king may not take or capture that queen, or else it would not be legal because kings may not be captured. So the king has to move on one of these two squares. The reason why is because the queen is guarding all of these squares around him. Even this square. So if the king were to go here, it would still be under attack of the queen. If we were to go on any of these 4 squares, it would still be attacked by the queen. So it would have to go on one of these 2 squares, and it would now not be attacked by the queen. So that is the king. And remember that the king is the most important piece in the game. That's one of the reasons why it cannot be captured. And another important rule of the king is that if 2 kings, so a black king and a white king, were to be 1 square apart from each other, and it were to be white's turn to play, or white's move, white may not go here, close to the king. It's because the black king is guarding these 3 squares on the coordinates C6, D6, and E6. So if the white king were to play in this situation, the white king would go on any of these 5 squares. But it cannot go on these squares, on these 3 squares. So that is the king, and that is the most important piece in the game that I just explained to you. And thank you guys for watching. Stay tuned, subscribe to my channel, like the video, and in the next video I will be explaining how to set up the whole chessboard. So thank you guys for watching, and see you in the next video. Bye.